Deciding to get a pet snake can be a fun and exciting experience for any age. Whether you are an aspiring herpetologist, looking to join the existing 4.5 million households with reptiles, or are a more experienced handler looking for a beginner snake, this list will help you find the perfect one. Number 7. Here's another great species for the python lovers out there, but with some bonuses. This unique species stays even smaller than ball pythons, and they're less likely to stop eating. Children's pythons are native to Australia. They grow to be about 2 to 4 feet long, and they're slender-bodied like a corn snake. They may seem dull-looking compared to other beginner snakes, featuring dark brown spots on a tan background, but color morphs are becoming increasingly common. The species is named after the scientist who first described them as a new species, John George Children. Due to their calm demeanor and manageable size, it's easy to believe the common rumor that they were named for their ability to be cared for by even children. And although hatchlings may be a little nippy and offensive at first, but they typically calm down as adults. These petite pythons are equally as happy climbing in trees and cruising around on the ground. In fact, in the wild, they're known for climbing up and hanging off the stalactites in caves to catch small bats mid-flight. Because of this, they'll appreciate height and climbing opportunities in their enclosure. 3 square feet of floor space per adult python is ideal, but more is better. This is roughly equivalent to a 30-gallon aquarium or a 32-quart plastic tub. Being nocturnal, children's pythons require numerous hiding spots and ground cover in the form of artificial or natural plants. Also, you should note that their heat needs to come from a source that doesn't give off light, because light makes them hide. Number 6. If you were hoping to get a boa as your first pet snake, but you're intimidated by red-tailed boas, which are known to be defensive and grow up to 10 feet long, why not consider the Rosy Boa? The Rosy Boa is one of 2 boa species native to the United States. These docile little snakes usually grow to about 2 to 3 feet long. They're typically white or off-white with 3 brown, orange, or gray stripes going down the length of their body. Rosy boas are calm and slow-moving. In fact, almost all Rosy boa bites happen due to an accidental feeding response. Perhaps not surprising, Rosy boas have such a strong prey drive that obesity is their most common health problem. As such, you'll want to keep an eye on your pet's body condition and cut back on the prey size or feeding frequency as needed. If they're kept at a healthy weight and in a proper enclosure, these gorgeous boas often live over 30 years in captivity. An adult Rosy boa will require a 20-gallon long or 29-gallon aquarium, but bigger is typically better when it comes to your slithery pal's home. Being native to the desert regions of the western United States, Rosy boas need low humidity and a warm side in their enclosure to digest their food. If you're interested in breeding snakes after you've got some husbandry experience under your belt, you'll be interested to know that Rosy boas are one of the 2 to 30% of snake species that give live birth. Number 5. This snake is a bit of an anomaly from the others. It is the most common species of snake in the world with dozens of subspecies. In fact, chances are that you've encountered one while on a nature walk or even in your backyard. The garter snake is small, skinny, and comes in a wide variety of colors. Garter snakes are alert and active during the day, making them great for people who want a snake that is busy and always on the go. Male garter snakes are about 2 feet long and females are around 3 feet. They have excellent eyesight and will be watchful of movement around their habitat. In the wild they only live about 5 years, but in captivity they can reach the ripe old age of 10. They need a terrarium of about 30 gallons and can be housed together. However, as with all snakes should be separated during feeding time so they don't try to feed on each other. Since they are active during the day, they enjoy more light than nocturnal snakes. A UV light is necessary to them, as is a basking spot. And their food selection is quite varied and includes rodents, worms, fish, amphibians. In captivity, it's a good idea to try and mimic a varied diet by offering them different foods at each feeding, ideally. Also, it should be noted that garter snakes take a little longer to adjust to handling than some other snakes. They are quite defensive, expecting attack, but with patience they will get there. They may never seem to enjoy it like the ball python, but they won't resist, and like every other living creature, each one has their own unique personality. Number 4. Did you know you could have a python for your first snake? Is this your dream snake? So many people love the idea of a python because of their perceived power. In reality, very few pythons are a threat to humans, and the ball python is definitely not one of them. Males tend to be 2 to 3 feet, while females could grow to be a foot longer. Records have some ball pythons reaching around 6 feet, but this is unusual. They also live to be around 30, so, if a ball python is what you are dreaming of, be prepared to make commitment that will last longer than many marriages. Ball pythons can be a bit shy and need a hiding spot for those times when they need a little quiet. A commercial hiding box or flower pot will work well. Did you know, there are easily over 1,000 ball python morphs? Breeders are constantly pushing the limits of what is aesthetically possible by crossbreeding different morphs together in their search for the most rare and striking mutations. Also, you must be willing to take the time to build trust with your ball python to show him you mean him no harm. Eventually, ball pythons seem to enjoy being handled by people they know. The ball python is nocturnal, so it needs a basking spot, but not any supplemental light. He prefers to move around in stealth mode as much as possible. Keep his terrarium warm and have a heat lamp to let him regulate his temperature. Like many snakes, he may go off his food in the colder months. This is not a concern as long as he seems otherwise healthy. Number 3. The California kingsnake is another extremely hardy snake species that thrives in the western United States and northern Mexico. These snakes grow to be a maximum of 6 feet but are generally between 3 and 4 feet long. They don't seem as big as other snakes though due to their slender body. They live to be about 20 years old and are renowned for their escape artist antics. They need a minimum of a 20-gallon terrarium with escape-proof openings. Also, these snakes have to live on their own because they are known to eat each other, especially during their adolescence. It is possible to keep more than one together when they are mature, but you'll need to separate them during feeding and for a few hours after. Number 2. The gopher snake is a common snake often seen in North America. It is the largest variation is the bull snake, which is often considered its own species, which actually happens to be one of 9 gopher snake subspecies. Gopher snakes are adaptable, hardy, and generally widely available. It is worth noting, however, that there may be regulations on these snakes depending on local laws, so please check before you purchase. And if you thought I was using the word hardy when describing these snakes, consider this. Gopher snakes live an average of 15 years, but some have been known to live in captivity to a ripe old age of 30. They are a foot long when they are born and reach 4 to 5 feet on average, but may sprout out to 6 feet, especially if you got a bull snake. Number 1. The corn snake is almost always the number 1 recommended snake for new owners, and so it remains in its well-earned spot on our list. The corn snake got to this position by being such an easy, affordable, and gentle snake. They are flexible in the food they take and will very rarely go off their diet. They accept mice that were previously frozen, whereas other snakes may be picky to the point of making themselves sick. These snakes are beautiful to look at and are sometimes called the red rat snake because of their coloring. There are also many beautiful corn snake morphs, but generally you'll find them colored in degrees of orange-yellow or yellow-black. They are incredibly gentle, easy to handle, and are harmless in the wild. In fact, they've even often been considered a friend to gardeners and farmers because they are excellent at pest control. However, the corn snake is not perfect. It is a larger, long-lived snake with a lifespan of 15-25 years and the potential to grow up to 6 feet. Corn snakes should be kept in a minimum 30-gallon aquarium. Corn snakes also need an ambient temperature between 78 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit as well as a heat lamp to bask under. Corn snakes like to burrow in their substrate, so you may not always see them until they are ready.